Hello and welcome to another series from the vault, where we peek into a classroom and see what there is to learn. Today, we'll listen to two types of puzzles called Karuji and the better known Sudoku. Enjoy!
All right. So last time we discussed in perhaps a little too much detail logical reasoning, different kinds of reasoning. We're mainly focusing now on deductive reasoning, following that for a little bit. And even though we laid it out with a premise, observations, and a conclusion, to see the structure of how logical reasoning sort of flows, we're not doing that and writing that out every time. It's just something that I want to be aware of. So as we're doing our puzzles and we're performing deductive logical reasoning, we're not writing everything out, but at any point you have to be able to stop and at least verbally explain what you're doing, why you're doing, how it follows from a previous step. You're welcome to write it out, but I'm never going to ask you to write it out. We just have to understand how we get to the answer, how we solve the puzzle. So writing it out is a good idea, but it can get tedious very quickly. I would require for myself that you stop randomly at any point and just tell yourself that, or how you make the next step. Why is the next step what it is? At no stage should there be any guessing. Okay? So that's the key. You decide how much you actually want to write down, but you have to still understand every step what you're doing. The nice thing about these puzzles is that there isn't just one path to the end, but they're all going to be nicely set up, so there is only one answer. But you can take different paths depending on what you see first. So today we're going to have two kinds of puzzles. I start with the less familiar one called a Karuji puzzle. It's in the book as well, in section 2.2.1, Karuji. So we have a box or a grid. Some letters are filled in, some letters are not. I'm just going to duplicate it here. Just a little 3x3 grid. Now they can vary in size, but we'll start with a nice small one. So first of all, the first row can only have letters A, B, or C. And then it says F, G, and H in the second row. And then in the last row, L, M, and N. And then the question is, where do the other letters go? And also, every time you have to know why. There's never any guessing. I can't stress that enough. If you at any stage feel like you're guessing, then you have to go back and rebuild your steps. There's no guessing. So, then they give me a couple of extra restrictions, clues to help me know where these letters go. The first one says M is one column to the left of G. How can that help me figure out where to put a letter? And what is that letter going to be? M is one column to the left of G. So, I should have brought another color. I'll write it pretty softly. Can G go there? No. Why not? Because then there is no left for M to go. Therefore, G is not in that position. Therefore, G has to be in this position. Does that make sense? So always ask yourself why. Why? If you work with a friend, that's even better. You can always ask each other why at any stage. Be annoying. Why? You have to always answer that question. Pretend you're a 5-year-old. Why? It has to be a little annoying, but you have to always be able to answer that question. Then, using our clue, M is one column to the left of G, therefore M has to be there. And the more we fill in, the easier it's going to get. Now we haven't used our last clue yet. H is one column to the left of C, but before we do that, we can fill in more because H has to be here. And L has to be there. There's only one space for them. Now it's just a choice between B and C. H is one column to the left of C. Well, H is over here. Therefore, C has to be there. Therefore, B has to be there. And we win. Any questions on how we got to the end result? Again, you should technically be able to write all that out, but it's going to be a lot of words. As long as you understand and can explain verbally, it's totally fine. I'm never going to ask you to write it out. But I will, obviously, ask you to solve the puzzle. And if you're guessing at any stage, your chances of solving it go down really fast. There's no guessing in deductive reasoning. Any questions or comments? On a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is it? 1 being, I don't know why I came today, it was so easy. 10 being, I don't think I'll ever do it. How difficult is this? 1 to 10. 1 easy, 10 hard.
1.
1, I like it. 3, I'm aiming for a 3 or below. Does it feel doable? All right. Well, then let's step it up. Not a lot of difficulty you can create with a 3 by 3. So what we want to do then is step it up to something a little more interesting. So I want to do the first one together, because going from a 3 by 3 grid to a 4 by 4 is a big step up. And I need some strategies to help me keep track of what I'm doing. Is there anyone that doesn't have a handout? No, wow, that was impressive. I have an M, oh, I don't have a grid yet. So I know you can't resist, these puzzles are so much fun, you're going to do it without listening. But the goal of the first one is to do it together. Because the strategies are a little, not more advanced, just more sophisticated to help me keep track of what is happening here. Because it's much bigger, there are more things missing. So, the first is to just keep track of the letters. A, B, C, and D are in row 1. F, G, H, J. F, G, H, J. And I will say, if you Google Karuji, there are more puzzles that are freely available that you can practice if you want to. I do not expect you to go to a 5 by 5. It's a little messy, and I won't put that in a test or anything. 4 by 4 is a good, manageable challenge for us, but you can always go further if you want to. That's everything. Now, the way they write it down here is a little different, but I think I have it in the book more clearly. So depending on where you look, everyone should have a book. We can look at the book instead. They're in the same order. This is just shorthand for the words. First clue, C is one column to the left of G. Does that allow me to put in any letter with absolute certainty? No. And there's no shame to say no. No, I just don't know yet. You have to know when you don't know. That's okay. But one strategy is to put little letters in the corner to help me keep track of possible places for the letters as the clue reveals something. The clue says C is one column to the left of G. So a possibility is that C goes over there, G may be there, or C can be there, G can be there, C can be there, G can be there. So I have taken a little step forward in that I know G is not there and C is not there. And by doing these little corner letters, I'm keeping that in mind if I need it later. So that's one option that you could follow. It works for me. Doesn't necessarily work for everyone. But if I don't do something, if I don't take a note of something, then later on I might forget C can't be there. And I might need that information. So I need to take that clue and put it in somehow. Then they say S is one column to the left of B. S has a lot of options, and B has a lot of options, so I don't know. S could be there, B could be there. That's an ugly B, I apologize. S could be here, and B could be there, as long as S is one column to the left of B. So I don't know anything for sure yet, but I do have more information. So the key is patience to get there eventually, but not all in one go. And you'd be surprised, kids have no patience. They want to get the answer right away, and if they can't, they conclude they're stupid. Because why can't I get the answer right away? No, it's a process, it's a journey. And that journey is really more fun than the actual answer. But they won't believe you when you say it, of course. Q is one column to the left of F. Q is one column to the left of F. There's a lot of options for Q and F. I don't know, but I can put it in. Q could be there, F could be there, Q could be there, F could be there. Q, one column to the left of F. That's F there. I'm getting more information. Slowly, patiently. Patience is the key. It doesn't matter how, to me, in the quiz you're going to have lots of time. You don't have to worry about that. Less so the final. You're rolling in time. That's not the challenge here. The challenge is, can you get to the end? It doesn't matter how long it takes. Q is the one we just did. R is one column to the left of N. R, one column to the left of N. Now N has fewer options. So R being one left of N, it is possible that R is there and N is there. Sorry, it's not the N as well. What's wrong here? R could be here and N there. But R can't be here, because then N should be there and it can't. And R can't be there because there's nothing to the right. So that one was a little better, but I still don't know where R and N are exactly from that clue. In any case, did everyone follow what I did there? It's a matter of patience, really. That's the real challenge here. Can I be patient? Some say that intelligence is really just a matter of speed. If you're more intelligent than I am, it doesn't mean I can't do something. It just means maybe it takes me a little longer. I can still do it. And that's comforting for me when there's no time limit. So I know I can do it. It's just a matter of time. Then they say T is in the same column as a typo. It should be a J, not a Z. And in the handout, it says a J. Okay, so make that correction. In the second to last one, if it shows a J already, then I already corrected it. But in the first edition here, first draft, it shows a Z. T is in the same column as J. J. Now that's a tricky one, because I don't know where J goes. So let's put a pin in that and think about T, not J. Think about what's happening in the last row. I'm not saying this is the only path, it's the one that comes to me first. This is definitely a step up from the 3 by 3. Think about where T can go. Not about the clue yet, just T in general. Think about where T can go. If T goes over here, I'm going to make it a wavy T, because it's temporary. If we consider the possibility that T goes there, what does that mean for the other letters?
Well, all those other
I have another one. Sorry, before you say that, I have a Q, R, and S, which then have to go here. Now you go. Sorry.
Sorry.
No,
there was a pause. I was like, ah.
No, fair enough.
Well, all the other ones have to be to the left of a certain column, S, Q, and R.
So,
they have to have the option of going to the left of something, which means T would have to theoretically go on the far right.
whoa, you're just a little too fast. The tricky thing with dealing with 40 people is everyone's doing it at a different speed. Something's easy for you to see and something's not easy, and then another day it goes the other way. So I try and come up with an argument slowly enough so 90% of us follow it. What you say is correct, it's just a little too fast, I think, for everyone. If I consider T going here, then R can't be there, so R has to go here. I'm going to make it, see, because R can only be in one of those two spaces. My previous clues told me that. So if I eliminate this one for R by putting a T in there, now R has to go there. Now both Q and S have to go there. That's not possible. There's only one spot for two letters. Which means my original assumption was wrong. Does that make sense? That's a step up from the 3 by 3. There was nothing like that in a 3 by 3. I tried a T here. That means one of these options for R is gone, which means R has to be there, which means Q can't be there, and S can't be there. R is there now. So I've used two options for Q and S, so this square is the only option for Q and the only option for S. And that can't work. I can't put a Q and an S. So original assumption was wrong. That T can't be in there. And by the same argument, wow, they're excited out there. Just going to have to speak louder. Oh, it worked. If I try a T over here, same thing. R has to be there. Now both Q and S have to be there. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Stop me if you're not sure about anything. I'm trying to go slowly enough. Some of you will be extremely bored, but I have to cover everything. So I consider a T over here. Still wavy. I'm not sure yet. Trying it. What does that mean? Now I have two squares, and R, Q, and S have to be somewhere in here. Two squares, three letters, doesn't work. So my conclusion is, beyond any doubt, T has to be there. Is there anyone? There's no shame, it's a safe space, no judgment, no criticism. Well, you can criticize me. I'm not criticizing you. Is there anyone that is not sure how we concluded beyond any doubt, 100% certainty, T is in the last square? Now, if you were to write that out, there's a lot of things a lot of words you can write out. As long as you understand it, it's perfectly fine. Any questions? All right. So now, knowing that T is in here, I can go back to my clue and say, well, T is in the same column as J. Therefore, J has to be over here. Therefore, these options are not for F and G. Now I try, and before I read the next clue, I try and put in as much as I can, because adding this J now tells me that these two squares have to contain F and G. I don't know which way. So I can't just go and write an F and G. No, I don't know. That would be guessing. There's no guessing. But what I can say is H has to be over here. Because these two contain F and G in some order, not H, so H has to be in the other spot. Don't ever, I see it every time. People think, well, these have to be F and G, so I'm going to put an F and a G. No, you don't know that for sure. You don't know that for sure. You have to have no doubt. There's no chance or anything, or guessing. Is everyone happy with the placement of J? And then the placement of H? Totally fine if you're not, but you can ask me afterwards as well. Okay. I don't immediately see anything else. Not that there isn't, I just don't see it. So I'm going to go to the next one. D, the last one. The D is in the same column as H. Well, I just placed H. So that means D has to be here, which eliminates that option for C. I still have two options for C and three for B, so who knows? Who knows where C is? But I am making progress, and that's the key. So now I've gone through all the options, so I'm just going to start again. from top because there's no reason to shuffle them around. I might as well go from the top. And if it happens to not tell me anything, I'll just go to the next one. So the first actual clue, C is one column to the left of G. C is one column to the left of G. You have to enjoy the process, like a little game. Can I figure it out? I bet you I can. It might take me a while, but I'll have get a lot of satisfaction from accomplishing that goal. And that's something you find in yourself. You can't really make it. You're going to like this puzzle. Like it. Like it now. Do it. It doesn't work. My 6-year-old has no desire to learn. Zero. She has a desire to do a handstand, but no desire to learn. And we can't make it. We can't make her. We don't know how. It has to come from inside. Something has to spark it. Something you're interested in. And who knows what that is? You find that for yourself. I like these because of the challenge. I know I'm going to get it. It's just a matter of time. Anyway, C is one column to the left of G. Can I put anything in? Does that tell me anything? Does that help me to conclude anything specific? Yes, I do have the C's and G's here, but I forgot what that clue was, right? So now I'm reading the clue again to help remind me. C is one column to the left of G.
Yeah.
What does that tell me?
Well, you can't put the G in that one because the D is up there, and
Yeah.
C has to go.
So it has to be C and G, which now I'm done with these guys. I'm done with that C because C is placed. That means F has to be there, so I'm done with those. G is placed there, so I'm done with those as well. Everyone happy with that? Not as happy as you can be, right? It's Monday morning. Yeah. Well, it's not early Monday morning. That helps. Now the next one, S is one column to the left of B. Does that tell me anything with certainty?
B can only be top right.
S is one column to the left of B. You're 100% sure that tells me something? Good, I could just be missing it. From my point of view, I'm not quite sure. S, 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 B, B could be this way, could be this way. I don't know exactly. Could be, I could be missing it.
It can't be in the bottom left corner anymore, though? The S?
Yes, we can definitely say that. S can't be there anymore. Yeah, that helps me. So maybe you're not sure. Maybe there isn't something I'm just not seeing. Or maybe I'm not sure and I move on. That's okay. Q is one column to the left of F. Oh, that helps me a whole bunch. Because F is done. So Q has to be here, which means it's not there. And it's not there. That means R only has one spot. Even though S could be here, R can't be anywhere else. So I have to put R there. Therefore, S has to be there. So the more you get, it just snowballs, and in the end, it becomes really fast. I could go back to the previous one because I remember it involved B, and S is now done. S is one column to the left of B. That fixes B. So you were correct, but I just wasn't sure, 100%. And if it feels like guessing, yes, you could guess right. But you could also guess wrong, and the whole thing just doesn't work. So B can't be here anymore, so that means A has to be there. There was a clue about N, so let's go to that clue. Where's the clue about N? R is one column to the left of N. Well, there you go. N has to be there, and therefore O has to be there, and we are happy. We did it. Yes, it took a while, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. You do a couple of those? Yes, you don't have that much time in the quiz, but we also talked about it a lot, and you wouldn't have taken that much time if it was just you on your own. Any questions or comments about that one? Are we still at a 1 out of 10 difficulty? Maybe moved up a couple. Still doable, just a little bit of practice. This is the insert for exercise 2.7. we have a larger Karuji puzzle. Let me copy it here quickly, like that. Not very good, but still. And we have our letters A, B, and C, and D to go in row 1, F, G, H, and J in row 2, L, M, N, and O in row 3, and Q, R, S, and T in row 4. And the letters that are given are D there and L there. Then we have a bunch of clues that you can read through and pause if you need more time to think about it. We'll go through them to set them up, just like the previous example. First it says Q is one column to the left of F. So that means Q could be here and F could be there. Q one column to the left, Q could be there, F could be there, Q could be there, F could be there. It says J is one column to the left of O. So J could be here, O could be there, J could be here, O could be there. G is one column to the left or right of C. So it's alongside C. So G can't be here because then C would have to be there. That spot is full. So C could of course be there, then G could be here, C could be there, G could be there or there, C could be there and G could be there. But it does eliminate one spot for G. C is in the same column as S. C is in the same column as S, so S could be here, not there. S could be here, S could be here. B is one column to the left of R. So B could be there, R could be here, B could be there, R could be here, B has to be left of R. H is not in the same column as M. H is not in the same column as M. So that's a hard one to do because we don't know M can be anywhere. So let's leave that one for now. T is two columns to the left of A. T is two columns to the left of A. So A could be here and T could be there. A could be here and T could be there. And lastly, G is in the same column as N. N. Well, G could be here, here, or here. So N could be here, N could be there, N can't be there. G has to be in the same column as N, so scratch out that G, that's not possible. So that tells me, if I look in the middle here, that N and O have to be in these two spots. I don't know which one, which way. N here, O there, N there, don't know. But it does tell me M has to be in this spot. Because these two are done. I'm not sure which way, but they're done. Then I can go back and say, okay, what does that allow me to do? Which clues have an M in them? Well, I look at the third from the bottom. H is not in the same column as M. H is not in the same column as M. So H can't be this one. H can be here, H can be there, or H can be there. Not in the same column as M. So now maybe, I'm not sure, what else could there be? Not sure. I don't know which way this would go, but maybe if I go through them again, it would give me some clues. Q is one column to the left of F. That doesn't help me much. J is one column to the left of O. Now I still don't know where O goes, right? Maybe another clue will tell me. G is one column to the left or right of C. All right. C is in the same column as S. I still don't really know. B is one column to the left, or so B is one column to the left of R. Yeah, not really sure yet. H is not in the same column as M. Yeah, we talked about that. Can't really say. T is two columns to the left of A. Yeah, A could be in two spots. G is in the same column as N. Yeah, G could be here or here. So there's no shame in, I'm doing this on purpose so that you can realize that there's no shame to read these over and over and over as many times as you need until you slowly inch forward. And once you get some momentum, it will be much easier. So there may be different paths to get to the end. The only one I can see right now on the spot is over here. Have a look at this. So G can be only in one of these spots. Let's tentatively put G over there and say, we don't say it's there, we say if it's there. What would happen? Now nothing else can be there. So when I look at H and F, they have to be in these two spots and J has to be in that spot. But I don't know exactly where G is, so I can't guess. If G is over here, then this spot is out for H and F. So H and F have to be in these two spots. I'm not sure how, but they fill these two spots, and J again has to be there. So regardless, J has to be there. I don't know exactly where G is, but I know J has to be there regardless of which one it is. So I can scratch out that J, I have J there. Now let's see if that unlocks anything. It says J is one column to the left of O, so that means this is O, and therefore that is N. So I'm done with those. I scratch them out so they don't confuse me, because I see the letter. Now let's see that I don't want to jump around randomly because I might forget and miss the one clue that I need, so I tend to just take my time and go through them from the top. Q is one column to the left of F. Can't say yet. I don't know exactly where G is, and F, not F either. J is one column to the left of O, we've done that one. G is one column to the left or right of C. Still don't really know. C is in the same column as S, not sure. B is one column to the left of R. No, can't really say. H is not in the same column as M. Yeah, we have that so far, but we don't know where H is. T is two columns to the left of A. I don't know. And G is in the same column as N. So now I can put G over here, which means these are all out. G is not there anymore. I don't know which way H and F goes. Maybe there's another clue now, and I go back and see which one uses a G. G is one column to the left or right of C. Well, that spot's taken, so C has to be there. C can't be there anymore. C can't be there either. So that leaves only one spot for A, and therefore B is over there. Now we have filled in a lot, so let's go back and see what that unlocks. Q is one column to the left of F. I don't know where F is yet. J is one column to the left of O. I got that. On paper you can tick it off so you don't have to read it again, but I'm looking at a screen so I can't. G is one column to the left or right of C, so we got that. C is in the same column as S, so S goes over here, and R only has one spot. That S is out there too, S is out there too, so T has to go here, Q has to go there. Ooh, we're almost done. We just have to decide on H and F. Is there anyone that says anything? H is not in the same column as M. Yes, we already know that. So maybe something that helps me with an F. Q is one column to the left of F. So that puts F there and H there, and we're done. Don't try and be impatient and quick with this. The journey, the process, teaches you more than getting to the end result necessarily. Let's move on to the other more familiar type of puzzle that develops your logical thinking very well. There's a reason it's so popular, because it is effective in developing that deductive reasoning, and that is Sudoku. There's a lot of variations. You can take a simple one like this, where we have to, I'm just going to turn the camera, where we're only dealing with numbers 1 to 6, just to make it a little easier. And we have our 6 by 6 grid broken up into smaller 3 by 2 rectangles. And our goal is to fill in the numbers 1 to 6 so that every row contains every number 1 to 6. Every column contains every number 1 to 6. And each one of those smaller rectangles contains the numbers 1 to 6. So here's the original, the common Sudoku has numbers 1 to 9, but this one's a smaller one, just in case you have never heard of Sudoku. That's okay. You have now. So we're just working with a smaller version, a more manageable version of Sudoku. Now, I'm just trying to fill in as we go, so I don't do it on the board. Add text. Does that work? I think it does. Okay, so let's fill this in. Now, what I like to do is simply go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because there's nothing that tells me to start with anything other than 1, so I might as well do them in order, and that way I remember which ones I've considered. Another strategy is to start with a number that you see a lot of, but that doesn't always work. So we might as well start with a 1. So, considering 1, this column has a 1, this column has a 1, which means 1 can't be in these two squares, because there's already a 1 in that column. There's only 1 of every number in a column. But this section, this little rectangle, has to contain a 1. It can't be there because of this one. It can't be there because of this one. So it has to be there. Can I actually type this? Oh, it's big. That's okay. Did it make sense why I put a 1 in there? If you've never seen this before, then you have to get used to the rules first. So feel free to ask questions. You guys don't ask as many questions as I would like you to ask. But it's early. Maybe in time you will feel more comfortable. Any questions on why I put a 1 there? Again, if you're working with a friend or your alter ego, ask why all the time. Why did you put a 1 there? Can you explain it on the spot? If you can, then you're on track. If you can't, then go back and rethink it. Any questions about the 1? No. All right. What else do you see? I'm going to leave it open to you. Maybe, now, how many 1s are placed? There are 6 1s. 1 for every row, every column. So I don't have to consider a 1 again. There are no more 1s to place. So I can go next to a 2. What do I see for a 2? Well, this same rectangle at the bottom left needs a 2. It doesn't have a 2 then. So a 2 has to be in one of these two little squares, these positions. But if I put it here, there's already a 2 in that row. So it can't be there. So it has to be there. It's a little low, but did that make sense? Why I put a 2 in there? Yes. And that's the basic argument that you just do over and over and over and over. Now, if I look at this little rectangle again, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is missing. So the 5 has to be in that position. Might as well finish that rectangle when I'm there. Let's finish this quickly. What do you see next? Many paths to get to the end. Yes?
There should be a 6 on the end of that one.
6 on the end of this column, because this row, every row needs every number, and that's the only one that's missing. Nice. She said something, now someone else say something. Or you can say something again if you want. Yes.
Move up to the second row.
This one?
Yeah, so where your cursor is there, that has to be a 5 because
Why?
because there's a 6 in the column going down. Am I correct?
There's a 6 here.
Yeah. But does that not affect it?
Looking at the 5s. Looking at the 5s. You are right, but I want to get the Y exactly
Well, we
clear.
already have 1 to 4 in that row, in the second row.
Oh, yeah, so it's 5 is there or there. If it can't be there because of this,
right.
right?
So it has to be
So it has to
5
be there.
and then
Perfect.
6 on the other side.
And then 6 on this side. Perfect. Anything else? Yes.
And then a 6 also has to go diagonal to the 5 on
This
that.
one?
Yeah.
Because the 6 is in this column, that's the only place a 6 can be for that rectangle, and then we can finish the rectangle, or 2 is missing. Anything else? Yes.
The bottom row has to be a 4.
Bottom row, which one of these?
The far right.
This one?
Yes.
Has to be a 4. Has to be a 4. Why exactly there with certainty?
Sorry.
No. I'm just asking because just because I don't see it doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure. So this 4
that four-
eliminates that one.
Yes.
So it's either there or there.
Yes.
How do I know which one it is?
Well, the far left square in that row has to be a 5.
This one?
Yes. that's-
Okay, so let's go to 5 first. You're right. That 5
Sorry.
gets rid of that one. That's 5 gets rid of that one. So
Yes.
that has to be a 5.
Yes.
Now the 4 is forced to be there, which puts a 3 there. So it's all about just making sure you can explain it, right? I never asked, as a side note, because it's not a given, how many of you are planning to become elementary school teachers? So I know my audience, because it's not a requirement. You can take the course without it, right? That is the main goal, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. So, I mean, if you're introducing Sudoku to little Timmy, you have to be able to explain things very clearly to help them understand. So the first step of that is explaining it to yourself at least, or to a friend. All right, what else do you see? Let's wrap this up. Oh, this one's missing, sorry.
Finish all 3
Uh,
columns on the right.
4. Columns on the right.
Yeah, you can finish them all.
Okay, oh, what should this number be? Well, which ones are missing here? 3 and 4. That can't be a 4 because it's 4. So it's a 3. No, backwards. This can't be a 4, so the 4 has to be up there. Then this has to be a 3. All right, next column. What's missing? 3 and a 6. Well, that can't be a 3. The 3 is right there. So this has to be a 3 and a 6. Let's keep going. This column, can we do that one? Oh, this little rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then forces that column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, oh, these two are done. These 2 columns. 1, 2. And 1, 2, 3. Now we're done. Hold on. So Sudoku is probably the easier one, for some reason, maybe familiarity.
Please remember to click the like button if you enjoyed the video, and to subscribe if you want to be notified of more videos. Also, please visit me on my Patreon page if you want to support me in making further content. Thank you.